Breaking news right now at Westcliff. The Custer County Sheriff's Office is holding a press conference right now on that manhunt that is underway in southern Colorado, and we're going to take a listen.
My name is Rich Smith. I'm the Sheriff of Custer County, Colorado, and I'm grieved that our community today has experienced gun violence resulting in the loss of our citizens. We got a call yesterday at 12:59 to our 911 center that there had been a shooting at 173 Rocky Ridge Road. That was aired over the radio to deputies at 1:01 p.m. And as the deputies were responding, the dispatchers continued to get information from one of the victims who had been shot, as well as another victim who was not shot but had been able to run to safety. It took us 22 minutes to arrive at the scene. It's kind of a remote area of the county. Two members of the sheriff's office, along with the coroner and a deputy coroner, were the first arriving responders, and they made a high-risk entry to the crime scene. They didn't know where the shooter was, but they knew there was a possibility of a survivor, and they'd actually found one person who was a survivor. That person was transported to an ambulance and then later flown to Colorado Springs to it's a level 1 trauma center where you can get advanced care. Right after that, we did something called an Everbridge alert, and that calls people's cell phones, landlines, sends text messages or emails to let them know that there was a shelter-in-place area in place for a 2-mile radius around this Rocky Ridge address. As a backup, we also sent a message over a system called iPause, which runs off near a cell phone tower, and that's not very accurate. And so that sent messages well outside of the initial 2-mile zone and caused additional kind of panic in different areas of the community that got the message in error. We requested a SWAT team from the Fremont County Sheriff along with his crisis negotiators. We had 4 state troopers and a Colorado Division of Wildlife officer respond, and then we called all 8 of our off-duty deputies to respond. We also had a CBI respond, so while we were working the scene, CBI agents were here helping our detective draft search warrants, and the CBI also had off-site analytical support. We conducted a thorough search for the area around 173 Rocky Ridge Road, and that's a very rural area of the county. The shooting happened in a wooded area along a gravel road, and there was a lot of structures in the area that needed to be searched, and we couldn't have done it without the Fremont County Sheriff's SWAT team. We were aided by night vision, thermal imaging, and drones, as well as an extensive foot search. We searched structures on nearby properties, and we also responded to nearby residents that were concerned and wanted us to check their property as well. And we were able to give a definitive all clear at 8 p.m. and we again used that Everbridge system to get the word out. Prior to the ground search being completed, we obtained digital evidence that the suspect's white pickup truck had been located in nearby Chaffee County. We now believe that he left his home in the truck prior to our arrival, which is certainly possible. Nevertheless, we continued the ground search as planned to ensure the safety for the community and couldn't just believe and hope that that was his pickup. Last night, we requested assistance from the U.S. Marshals for the apprehension of the fugitive, and I signed an official delegation of apprehension authority to the U.S. Marshals, and they were actually working here in a command post shortly before your arrival. They got a hot tip and then left to run that tip down. CBI, along with our own internal evidence technician, the coroner, Brad Bolsey, and the deputy coroner, are processing the crime scene, and we just couldn't do it last night. It's a very big, it's a wooded area, so it's tough to find the evidence. We didn't want to do it in the dark. So we had 6 posse members guard that area last night to ensure that it wasn't tampered with, and then they're doing that processing right now. The Custer County coroner will be making the formal identification of the identity of the deceased. We have a preliminary from yesterday, but the formal notification will come from Coroner Brad Bolsey, and that'll happen today. We're going to transport the remains from our crime scene to the El Paso County coroner for a required. Have responded to
Sorry. Do you guys have any questions?
What's bringing up all these emotions?
I hate to see gun violence in our community. And we have 3 people been dead, 1 person seriously injured.
I know, yes, last night you had said that it's believed at least one suspect had disputes with, or the suspect had disputes
Yes.
with one victim in the past. Is there any new information if he knew these other 3 victims or 4?
All of the deceased are involved with a property dispute involving the suspect.
So is it one family or multiple different?
Multiple families are affected.
What is that property?
Property lines, and there's a legal process called an easement, and so some of the neighbors have a legal easement to drive through the suspect's property, and that's recorded at planning and zoning. They've been through court numerous times with lawyers and things, and that, as of today, the easement stands as the subdivision was originally created many years ago.
Does the guy live here?
Yes.
He does. Okay. And then, I just correct me if I'm wrong. I was listening to you, trying to take notes, but his car was found in Chaffee County, but not him.
We tracked his vehicle using digital evidence to Chaffee County, and we're absolutely certain that he was in that location as well. We have a really good tip to follow on that. This morning, Denver Police Department sent a helicopter, and they overflew this area all the way out to Chaffee County, and then the U.S. Marshals have numerous other resources that are in this area also looking for the suspect. And we have been in contact with the suspect's associates and family members, and they tell us that they hope that he will be willing to come somewhere resolved. And I would ask them, if you're in contact with the suspect, to tell them that we're willing to negotiate a peaceful surrender for him to be able to come to custody. I don't have information for us.
Given the fact that this occurred regarding some ongoing property dispute, are there concerns that the suspect is potentially dangerous to others or would be interested in committing violence on others?
I'm sorry, I don't know that.
Do you know have you ever had something like this before? A property dispute?
Oh, we have them almost every day. And there's many subdivisions in Custer County, and the county actually started in 1876, right after the Civil War. And the lines aren't as formal as they would be in the big city. And so there's a lot of this has to be straightened out in the civil courts to figure out where the property lines are and who has these easements. There's a legal principle in Colorado called adverse possession. And so if you've had access to the land for a certain period of time, that can become a legal right later for you. And it's all handled in the civil courts, and we have deputies go to those calls every day. We've been to this suspect's house several times.
So you're very familiar with the case and the situation between you?
Yes.
Everything that would lead to?
Absolutely no indication that it would lead to this.
How long has this been going on?
I don't know that. That's something I'd have to research. I don't know how many years he's owned the property, but some of the surrounding neighbors have been there for multiple decades.
You said the dispute was an easement he used to get to his property?
No, it's actually an easement the neighbors use to go across his property. So there's a kind of an informal gravel road that's a source of irritation for him.
Have people in that area access before, and you dealt with that suspect being on the property?
Yes, so the suspect has complained about the neighbors, and the neighbors have complained about the suspect.
Given that there was targeted but not injured,
There was a witness to the shooting who was in danger but was able to run to safety, and then he provided very good information for us.
The court
He's
documents.
traumatized too.
The court documents surrounding everything that they've had with that property dispute. We've gone through those documents, and a lot of them are claiming prejudice against the Native American community because some of them.
You are hearing from the Custer County Sheriff there as a manhunt is underway after some deadly gun violence in the town. And this is the picture, if we can pull it up, of the man who deputies say shot 4 people, killing 3 of them. He's been identified as Handmay Clark, and police do say he had left the scene in a white Dodge Ram 1500 pickup truck. The license plate is BHLK27. The sheriff there did say they had U.S. Marshals come in last night to help out in that search. They still have helicopters that are keeping a close eye on him from the sky, and they have been talking with family and associates of Clark as well. But Here's what we know that had happened, just to catch you up. This shooting was yesterday afternoon in a community just northeast of Westcliff. It's about an hour southwest from Colorado Springs. You can see it on the map here. The deputies say that it started as a fight between neighbors that led to gunshots being fired. We just heard from the sheriff there that this was over a property line dispute. Not uncommon in any towns, especially small towns like this. But the sheriff got choked up at one point talking about gun violence in the area and did say they now have to call a coroner in to officially identify the two men and the woman who were killed in this instance. The victims, he said, were from multiple families, and then another woman was also shot, and she was shot multiple times in critical condition but is expected to survive. Right now we know that CBI and deputies are on the scene. They are processing this crime scene as we speak, and we're going to continue to learn more details as they unfold from this. And we'll have those at KOAA.com and through all the day today at KOAA here on News 5. But in the